I'd like to start things off by saying thank you for your patience. I haven't uploaded in quite a while, and I still haven't quite figured out how often these are going to be. That being said, hopefully this helped. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord. I have a link down below. But let's get right into it, shall we? So you're going to start off in Cinema 4D. This is R16. If anyone needs help getting Cinema 4 R16, just join the Discord down below. We have, I'll sort you out with that, how you can get it, how you can start using it and such. But yeah, if you haven't watched my first tutorial on how to use Cinema 4D, I really suggest you give that a try, just because we're not going to be going over the basic. So you want to find this cube, and you want to click and hold, and you can click landscape. And as soon as you do that, you're going to see a landscape kind of like appears in your workspace. So what you want to do from this is you want to click it. You want to set size to 6000 by 6000, and we don't need to change the middle one. The reason that we don't need to change the middle one is because we'll be adjusting the height later through a different meaning. So you want to uncheck borders at sea level as well. And if you don't like how flat this is, you can just hold and you can move that little yellow dot up and down. You can have some really rough terrain, you can have some really smooth terrain, or you can have somewhere in the middle. I end up going for something a bit smoother for this, but you can go with whatever you want. And if you want a slightly different pattern of bumps and stuff, what you have to do is mess around with the seed. The seed is basically, it's a way of saying like different seeds will have different patterns, different bumps in different places. And it kind of means that every terrain will be slightly different depending on the seed you put in. So I went for a random number and my terrain started looking like this. And as you can probably see, it's quite simple, it's quite flat. And that's okay, you know. What we're going to do now is we're going to click it, we're going to go over to create, environment and grow grass. And then you can probably see if I render it now, and this will take a little while, so you have to be patient. I'll skip the rendering process here. It will take quite a while on your computer, and it does depend on how good your PC is, because if you have a worse PC, it's going to take quite a bit longer. Luckily my computer is quite good, so this didn't take too long. However, if you don't have the best computer, I don't suggest rendering as much as I do in this tutorial, and try and like check your grass at bigger intervals, if that makes sense. So as you can see, my grass started to load in, and I found it too short, so you can double click this. I cranked up the density a bit, which is pretty much how much grass is in a particular area. I increased the length and I increased the width. I end up putting the width back down in the end, and there are three sliders down here which you can mess with: crinkle, bend and wetness. And each of these three are going to give your grass a slightly unique look about it. For example, as you can see, I'm messing around with bend right now, and then I will be messing around with wetness in just a second. And it's pretty much, you know, you can change this to your preference. There's no wrong or right in this case. Anyway, I'm going to render this up again. Now, there's no real wrong or right in this situation. It's just mess around with the sliders, mess around with the settings until you find something that you're a fan of. Once you do get the right settings and you have grass you're fond of, all you want to do is open up your character. Now, since I'm just doing this as a tutorial for grass, I'm not going to be going over how to get a character into this. If you need help getting a character into Cinema 4D, you can check my last tutorial. All the information is on there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pose this guy, and we're pretty much going to make sure that he's standing on the hill, because we don't really want any legs going through the floor, because you know that will never look good. Now, another cool thing you can do with this specific rig is if you go to rig options under head type, you can change it to something called face rig. And this allows you to give facial expressions to your characters. As you can see again, click Charlie, rig options, face rig. And when zooming in, you'll see that you have some options such as mouth sync, which opens and closes the mouth. Mouth emotion, which it's pretty self-explanatory, it would make someone happy or sad. Blink, it just increases the size of the eyes. You can have this however you'd like. I think I ended up not changing this in the end, but if you wanted to, you're more than welcome to, do what you want. Mouth movement, you can drag it up or down. Eye movement, you can drag it up, down, left, right, however you want. Now, if you wanted to move two at the same time, what you could do is you could shift click them both, and then you'd be able to move them both at the same time. Anyways, so that's face rigs. So once you're happy with your positioning, you want to go to create, environment, physical sky, and click physical sky. Now you want to rotate the physical sky until your character's face is completely lit, because if not, the shadows might be too dark for you. And then what you want to do is you just want to go and add a green texture, ideally a dark green, to your landscape. You want to uncheck reflectance as well. And this is just in case the grass isn't quite close together enough. It would mean that you wouldn't be able to see the grey texture below it, because it will be green and it will kind of blend in easier. So anyways, I want to be setting up my settings for rendering, which is always a good idea, because otherwise the render won't be the right type of file, and you might not have transparency, you might have a completely wrong file type when you go to save it. And then I'm going to render it here. Unfortunately, as you can see, the grass turned out white on this, and this is a mistake that I made originally. I was considering cutting this part out, but I figured if I could show you my own mistakes, maybe it would help with you guys learning from them. Now the reason that it is white is because when I chose to I chose to add global illumination, which is it sometimes does make your grass white. So what I ended up doing was I ended up turning off ambient occlusion and global illumination, and as you can see, after I did that, it turned out fine. So now that we've got this done, you can go into any editing software and you can finish it off. I'm going to be making this into a thumbnail, so you can see the creative process behind that now. But yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Grass is super simple, and it really does make your GFX look so much better than anyone else's. I really suggest you try this, and if you do need any help, all you have to do is join the Discord, ask me any questions. My DMs are always open to people in the server, so please feel free. Hopefully this helped you. If it did, please drop a like, it greatly helps the channel, and I will see you guys around.